and we're so glad that you're all here. We have some special things going on this evening. Tonight, we are pleased to have a former Harrison County graduate, Taylor Barnes, joining the meeting remotely. She's right over here. And she lives in Washington, D.C. and goes to school there. And Mr. Powers is going to speak to that a little bit more and give the details. But Taylor and I have been buddies for a long, long time, and I am just so proud of her, and I can't tell you how excited I am that she's joining us this evening remotely. So Taylor's been working with Ms. Tanya Northcutt and the Northside students. So the next thing that we'll get started with the agenda, and Dr. Burchett has a few words he'd like to say about the next item before we get started.
Yeah, we're a little bit out of order tonight,
yes.
But we need to take care of some business, official business that ensures the validity of the board as a whole. If you were at our last meeting, and this information is really for the public because the board is well aware of this situation. If you were at our last meeting, we had learned that due to some technical errors with the filing of paperwork in the election, that there was a potential of legal challenges to board action in the future with Ms. Norcross. So I want to praise Ms. Norcross and the board because they did what all responsible servants of the community would do, and they put any personal issues aside and elected to follow the appointment process to make sure that Ms. Norcross was legally and fully appointed as part of the board as the law permits. So this was at the recommendation of KDE Legal, as well as numerous Attorney General opinions. And this wasn't something that occurred only in Harrison County. It occurred in 6 locations across the state of Kentucky this year with write-in elections. So again, there's conflicting law, conflicting statutes, but the board, with the guidance of KDE Legal and the Attorney General opinions, came up with this process to ensure. And we want to thank Ms. Norcross because she's been working really hard to become a very well educated and trained member of the board. So with that, we've got an action amendment before we.
Okay. Do I hear consideration to grant approval to appoint Laura Norcross to fill the vacant Division I board seat in accordance with KRS 160.190?
So moved.
Motion made by Ms. Brunker,
Second.
second by Ms. Hattery. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. All opposed say no. Okay. Now you get to take the oath of office again. I'm so sorry for that, but. So the oath of office is going to be administered by Mary Grubb. She's a notary public.
Raise your right hand again. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and be faithful and true
and be faithful and true
to the Commonwealth of Kentucky,
to the Commonwealth of Kentucky,
so long as I continue
so as long as I continue
a citizen thereof,
as a citizen thereof,
and that I will faithfully execute
and that I will faithfully execute,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
the office of member of the Harrison County Board of Education,
the office of the member of the Harrison County Board of Education.
according to law.
I follow the law. Or what?
According to law.
According to law.
And I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that since the adoption of the present Constitution,
that since the adoption of the present Constitution,
I, being a citizen of this state,
I, being a citizen of this state,
have not fought a duel with a deadly weapon
have not fought in a duel with a deadly weapon
within this state, nor out of it,
within the state or out of it,
nor have I sent or accepted a challenge
I have not accepted a challenge
to fight a duel with a deadly weapon,
to fight a duel with a deadly weapon,
nor have I acted as a second
or have acted as a second
in carrying a challenge,
in carrying a challenge,
nor aided or assisted
nor aided or assisted
any person thus offending,
any person thus offended,
so help me God.
so help me God.
You are
Thank you.
now sworn in.
So We're gonna take this like a 2-minute,
Well,
yeah, they just need to sign this. Yeah, have to sign
Ms.
it.
Northcross, next month, we want you to be able to recite that.
can you recite that next month?
Yes, thank you.
And thank you for your patience during the process. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, Mr. Powers.
Good evening, and thank you. Speaking of out of order, we are a little out of order. I do want to share some information with you guys on behalf of our students to give you some information as to what you'll see regarding the pledge and the video that is coming up here in just a few minutes. So, Ms. Tanya Northcutt, who you can see right here, second grade teacher extraordinaire. She works with our second grade kiddos every year, doing a variety of very basic ASL. But this year's different. We have some bonus instruction coming in during our small group. Taylor Barnes graduated in 2017, is that right? I had Taylor a couple years at the high school. I know how proud we all are of Taylor. Part of her bachelor's degree that she is finishing up at Gallaudet University in Deaf Studies involves having an internship. And so we thought, let's do that at school. Thank you to Miss Hatter for setting that up. She was the one who had the idea. So for a couple hours every day, Taylor will Skype in with the kids and be part of small group and work on basic ASL and do all those kinds of things. It's been a great opportunity for our kids, not just to get the sign language, but all the other things that we try to teach in school with empathy and respect and understanding, all those kinds of things. So I'm very impressed with them. They love this. This is something that they work on each and every day. I do want to introduce a couple of folks that are in the room. First of all, thanks to our students and parents who could come out tonight. And after this Pledge of Allegiance, we will do the video, and then you guys can certainly head your way. We are thankful that you come. I want to introduce over here along the wall Taylor's family. Tracy, mom is over there. I did not see Greg. He's not here tonight. Taylor's brother, I'm sorry, is over there. And who else am I forgetting here? Vicki Casey, Vicki grandmother.
Grandmother.
Yes, and so we're thankful to have you guys here. We do have a handful of kiddos from Miss Northcutt's class. Miss Northcutt's students, if you guys would come up, our second graders, and is it okay if we sort of have them right here in front of
Absolutely.
the long desk? Come on up here, kiddos. So moms and dads, this is your opportunity. If you're blocked at all and want to be able to see your kids do this, please move around, stand up, scoot to where you need to go. And can we spread you out and have you face the audience this way instead of facing the flag, if that's okay? You need to move Taylor to where she can see everything as well. Another great piece for this, if Taylor has to have a portfolio piece, this will fit nicely with some things that she has to take care of there. And I'm under strict orders to record this, and if I don't, I'm in trouble tomorrow, so I don't want to forget that. I would like our students to introduce themselves if they would do that first. Coming across, are you all confident to introduce yourselves with your words and your sign? You want to go first, Carson? Nice and loud so they can hear you, bud.
My name is Carson.
Awesome.
My name is B-L-A-K-E. My name
Awesome. I want to introduce one other, Tressie Runyon. Hold up your hand over there, Miss Tressie. Miss Tressie and Miss Tanya and Miss Northcutt have both worked with Taylor going back way before she was a student at Eastside. And so she's another person that we thought would be great to invite tonight to be a part of our proceedings. When you're ready, Miss Northcutt, you can lead your kiddos. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Great job.
Good job, young people. Hang out just long enough to be able to watch your stuff on the video, and then after that is concluded, and we will finish up the board meeting. Great job, second grade. Thank you.
Mom, see okay over there? Why don't you just sit right up here on the
They can
floor?
sit right in front of the board.
Sit right here.
Indian style.
You all can come right up here. Crisscross that
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along.
Good evening and welcome to the February edition of HC Nation, your monthly magazine for good news. This month we are featuring the Harrison County Middle School academic team, a second grade class at Northside learning American Sign Language, and the business career pathways at the ATC. The middle school academic team has had big accomplishments and they are headed to state. Here is Harrison County High School senior Grace Wilson with this info.
As we all know, Harrison County is home to some of the best and brightest students. Several of these students are on the Harrison County Middle School academic team. On February 4th, Harrison County Middle School academic team competed in a regional competition in several subject areas. These include quick recall, future problem solving, and written tests in several different subjects, such as math, science, social studies, language arts, written composition, and arts and humanities. Quick Recall is a team event where 4 students from the team compete together against 4 students from another team to answer questions correctly. These students each have a buzzer. When a student thinks they know the correct answer, they buzz in. They are then given a chance to answer this question. These students are only given 5 seconds to answer these challenging questions. Future Problem Solving is a team event where students work together to use their skills to solve a real-world problem and propose solutions. They are challenged to work together and find creative solutions. The team moved on to regionals. Here, the Quick Recall team placed second, and the Future Problem Solving team placed second. Nate Mitz won 3rd place in Social Studies. Arwen French won 1st place in Language Arts. Anna Probus won 2nd place in Language Arts and 4th place in Arts and Humanities. The Harrison County Middle School academic team won 1st place overall in Region 13. The team is now headed to state. I met with HCMS academic team coach, Mrs. Emma Mullins, to talk about what state will entail.
So state is obviously as far as you can go in academic team. So state is a 4-day event at the middle school level. So on Friday night, future problem solving will compete in the evening. On Saturday, our individual subject testers will test. So we have testers in language arts, social studies, and arts and humanities. On Sunday is the first part of Quick Recall, so that is pool play. So our team will be guaranteed 5 matches that day with those in our pool. And then depending how they do, the Quick Recall continues on Monday. So if our team does well enough, they will get to compete on Monday. And then after the end of Quick Recall is the final award ceremony.
The team has worked hard all year long and will continue to practice and study to ensure their best performance at state. After working so hard, the team is filled with well-deserved pride. I met with Quick Recall co-captains Arwen French and Holden Wilson, who agreed they feel this pride after all the hard work they've put in.
I'm most proud of getting first place in language arts.
How we did in Quick Recall.
Good luck to our Harrison County academic team, and thank you to their amazing coach.
Good luck to the HCMS academic team as they compete in state. Miss Norcutt's second grade class at Northside Elementary has been working hard to learn American Sign Language. Here's Harrison County High School senior Alicia Powell with the Inside Scoop.
Every day, Northside Elementary students are visited via Google Meet by Taylor Barnes to learn American Sign Language, or ASL.
We started ASL because I wanted to be able to teach kids.
Taylor Barnes is a former student of Harrison County Schools who has always wanted to teach kids ASL.
My name is
Miss Northcutt has helped her dreams come true by allowing her to teach her class twice a day.
It impacts the kids to know ASL because it gives them a visual, and that visual helps them learn like their spelling words.
because if people are deaf, I can help people.
Both Miss Barnes and Miss Northcutt feel that learning ASL will allow them to be able to communicate with any hearing impaired individual that they may come upon in life.
And to be able just to do the ABCs in sign language is just so important for anyone who's hearing impaired.
Miss Barnes learned ASL at a young age because her sister was deaf.
It helps people to relate to other people in the community.
She even helped Taylor learn ASL before she even attended elementary school.
So we would sign to one another and learn the ABCs and the colors and the numbers. So she has known me almost forever. And to see her start her school career and now end her school career with me, it's pretty fun.
This month, we wanted to highlight one of our career and technical education programs on the Hilltop. These offer great opportunities to our students. Special thanks to Junior Griffin Mainers for putting together this highlight of the business pathways.
What made you love business education?
First and foremost, I think the students made me love business education. I started out in a field of nursing and left nursing to get my elementary teaching degree, and then came to the vocational school to teach health science for a year, and then accepted the business position the following year. My favorite classes to teach are ethical leadership, because I feel like there's a huge lack of ethics in society in general. I love personal finance because it's a course that all students can learn from. And it teaches them real life skills that they need to be successful. And my most favorite part of the business classes are FBLA, our career and technical student organization, Future Business Leaders of America. We offer a medical office procedures, which helps you with all things medical, doctor's office, the billing, the front office, the back office. We do an ethical leadership class. We have a business and marketing essentials course, a digital literacy course, a business management course, 2 personal finance courses, and an entrepreneurship class. You are going to want to start with either a digital literacy to help prepare you in making presentations for businesses, or you are going to want to get started in one of the basic fundamental early morning classes with the business and marketing essentials or the business management. And then you're going to want to finish with entrepreneurship.
What is your name and what grade are you in?
My name is Dawson Peak. I am a junior this year.
What got you started in business classes?
I was peer pressured into joining business classes by Jordan Pearson, but I realized that they were fun classes, so I continued to do them this year. And I have 4 business classes this year.
What is your biggest takeaway from these classes?
I'd probably have to say financial literacy and networking and the opportunity to join FBLA.
What is FBLA?
FBLA is Future Business Leaders of America.
What is your name and what grade are you in?
I'm Felicia Whalen and I'm a senior.
What got you started in business classes?
I took one last year and just to see what it was like, and I really enjoyed it, so I took more classes this year.
What has been the biggest impact these classes?
Learning more about the business world and joining FBLA.
What is FBLA?
Future Business Leaders of America.
What is your name and what grade are you in?
I'm Haley Sexton and I'm a senior.
What got you started in business classes?
My friend Allie Tucker actually made me take one with her last year, and so I decided to keep taking them.
What has been the biggest impact these classes?
I'd say learning about ethics, and then it introduced me to FBLA.
What is FBLA?
Future Business Leaders of America.
Wow, exciting things are happening on the hilltop. That's all for this month. We'll see you next time here on HC Nation.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy.
And thank you to all the parents that brought them. It was awesome. They did a great job. I would like to mention, and I don't know if any of you all caught this, Taylor actually is deaf, and I've had the pleasure of knowing her since she was, I don't know, since she was born actually, because her older brother Seth played soccer with my son Christian, and so Taylor and I got to know each other really well at soccer games forever. I actually knew her before she got her bilateral or implants, and I can't tell you how much I admire Taylor. She had a goal of leaving Cynthiana and going to Washington, D.C. to go to college. And she didn't let anything stop her. She was determined, and I told her mom tonight, I said, I'm going to cry talking about it, because she is the most determined young woman and was so focused, and her goal is to help other people that are deaf, and she is certainly doing that. And I didn't realize she was doing this internship this semester, and this is so cool that she is helping people in her situation in her hometown. So, and I've run into her a couple of times when she's been in town, but her mom and I were talking tonight. I think she's turned into a city girl. She's loving DC, but she certainly should be an inspiration to all of our students. If you have a goal, you can do it, and just because you're from a small school in Kentucky, that doesn't restrict you at all. That just gives you more of an attitude and a determination, and I know her parents are so proud of her, and we all are. So we congratulate her on her, there she is smiling, we congratulate her on her graduation in the spring. So thank you so much, Taylor. Thank you, Ms. Northcutt, so much for all of your hard work.
And just as a reminder, the videos, the HC Nation videos, and all of our videos are available on our district's YouTube channel. Sometimes it takes them a little bit to be uploaded.
This one will be in the morning.
Yeah, be up there tomorrow morning.
Okay. Next item is on the agenda this evening is approval of trips for the ATC's business education classes. We have Dawson Peak and J.R. McFarland with us this evening. Thank you. Now that we know why you really took classes. Because they forced you to.
Should have called it recruitment instead of peer pressure.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a better term.
Yeah.
My name is Dawson Peak, and I'm the co-president of our local FBLA chapter.
And my name is J.R. McFarland, and I'm the vice president of our local chapter in the Region 4 Parliamentarian for FBLA. And to our knowledge, you guys have in front of you the dates that we will be asking about. And we just want to draw your attention to the March 8th, April 17th through the 19th, June 6th through the 8th, and June 27th through the 30th. These are all field trips that we're going to be going on, and we're just seeking approval for those.
Anybody have any questions? You want to give us some more details about each conference?
Yep, so coming up on March 8th is our Region 4 Leadership Conference, and this will take place in Northern Kentucky, University. And then April 17th through the 19th is our State Leadership Conference, and this will take place at the Galt House in Louisville, Kentucky.
And then the June 6th through 8th is our FBLA Leadership Development Officer Training. So all of our local officers are required to go to a week of camp at the FFA Leadership Camp in Hardinsburg, Kentucky. And then June 27th through the 30th is the National Leadership Conference in Atlanta, Georgia. And we went to the National Leadership Conference last year in Chicago, and we had such a great time, and we had a couple people make it with their competitions that we just want to continue to keep going to those as we have students get that opportunity.
Anybody have any questions? Move to approve. Second. Motion made by Ms. Hadrick and second by Mr. Taylor. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. All opposed say no. Great, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming. You did an awesome job.
What they did today.
Oh, yes, we want
Wait
to.
a minute.
Yeah.
You want to talk about what we did today?
Yeah, and what you're gonna do Friday.
Okay. So, we were chosen out of all career technical education schools and pathways in the state of Kentucky. Our business management and entrepreneurship pathways were chosen to represent the state as a whole. So those were the best pathways that filled out the application. And so to have ours chosen was a really big help to us, because it came with $5,000 to buy materials and stuff for today, where we went to Frankfurt and presented, and then another $2,000 to go to Louisville to the Galt House and present in front of the board members and superintendents all across Kentucky. Anything else?
I think you covered it about all, but I think that the main focus was to highlight the purpose of our business program especially, and we had, I believe, 6 students go and showcase their own businesses, and it was just a really unique experience.
We need to get have we gotten a picture with them over by their signage? Let's get a picture so we can have that. That's awesome.
Because I've got it for them. Real big.
One on either side.
Yeah.
Why don't you scoop these in so the water fountains not in there?
Oh, I was hoping we showcase the water.
Bossy mother's gotta get over there and take those.
She's on one side, I'm on the other. If she needs something, she's on.
We will definitely visit with you gentlemen on Friday and we'll looking forward to it. And they got a unique experience today. They got to see firsthand what it's like in Frankfurt, where, as we all know, where the sausage is made. So, that is an interesting perspective, and that's what you have to do to continue the funding for the programs that we offer. So, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you on Friday. Awesome. Okay. Next item on the agenda this evening is Mr. Todd Brannick.
Good evening. So, just want to say that I was peer pressured into be at the board meeting. So I got the opportunity to take a busload of students to the CTE Day, where the proclamation was signed by the governor today, and that was pretty neat for students to be able to see. There's several pictures. Social media ought to be blown up with Governor Andy Beshear and several students that took pictures and selfies today with him. So they were just enamored at that legislative action that took place today, and to see students interact and at the CTE showcase they had was pretty neat for them to be able to see. That's not why I'm here today. I'm here to approve more trips for you all. So a couple things. We did have an addition, and I'll just add that in. Skills USA, which is a CTSO for several of the programs that we offer at the ATC. They're doing their state conference April the 19th to the 22nd. Currently, I don't think we have anybody that's competing, but several results are not in yet. So we want to go ahead and do that. That's going to be at the Crown Plaza in Louisville. So, and that'll be April the 19th through the 22nd. I think that's a Wednesday through Saturday, or a Thursday through Saturday, if my dates are correct. Then in addition to that, we want to make sure we've got approval for the FBLA to go to the Galt House this Friday the 24th for the superintendents and boards, so they can actually showcase what they've done there as well. And then we also have Hosa, our health science teacher, would like to go to state conference, and those dates are March the 23rd through the 24th.
Sounds great. Any questions or comments?
Move to approve.
Motion made by Ms. Brunker, second by Ms. Hedrick. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your support.
Thanks. Thank you.
Can I ask who the nursing teacher is?
Audrey Franzen, she's a former student at Harrison County High School.
Okay.
She graduated in
Say it again.
2014. She was Audrey Ramsey.
Ramsey.
Okay.
Yeah, she married a Franzen,
Okay.
and I don't think he's from here.
Well,
I think he might be Bracken County.
Yes.
Her family grew up in Bracken
In
County.
Bracken
Her
County,
mom
that's
is from
right.
New Britain, her dad is from Bracken
There you
County,
go.
and she graduated with Christian.
Okay.
Christy, you would know that.
Yes,
Put
yes.
that in there. Appreciate you
Went
guys.
to nursing school in Moorhead. You need to know anybody.
Good, I'm glad she's with us.
Do you have any other questions?
No, I don't, but thanks for asking.
Take care.
Thank you so much.
Oh, Christy did, I was always.
They passed the buck.
Thank you. Oh, that is so funny. I lived here 40 years and I'm still not from here. What can I say?
You know, Sue McKee says she's gonna have a, on her tombstone, I was not from.
Okay, Mr. Fowler, we digress, so
That's
we'll
okay.
get back on target here.
Actually, I'm here for the same purpose Mr. Brannick was. We have several high school trips that need your approval. And you do have them in front of you. If you want me to, I can go through them. If not, I'll entertain a question about any individual trip that you might have. A little bit of everything's in there.
I just want you to explain the Educators Rising, so to the public that, who might watch this on YouTube.
Well, I think it's
Such a neat program.
pretty well known right now, if you look at most social media outlets and the nightly news, that there is a severe shortage in the profession of education. So Educators Rising is designed to try to steer students that may have that interest and talent into becoming classroom teachers one day down the road in other parts of our profession. So really it's a club, much like the other clubs that you hear about, FBLA, FCCLA, and the goal there is to build and promote and grow our own teachers. Hopefully some of them will return home to help our district. If not, they'll be out there in other communities helping theirs. But that's really the goal of Educators Rising, to try to fill that void right now.
Any questions about any of these? These are pretty standard.
Move approval.
Motion made by Mr. Taylor. Second by Ms. Norcross. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
I was a little surprised. I expected a little question about that STLP trip, because you saw they were going to Great American Ballpark. If
Yes.
you're not familiar, they have a podcast, quite entertaining, and they would have the opportunity to actually do a little live at location on that particular day, which will be determined sometime between March and April. So that was really the only one on there that was kind of unusual.
Well, and that will be on our YouTube channel, I'm assuming, after.
We will promote it. They actually have a QR code posted all through the high school, and if you tap it, it'll take you straight to their podcast.
Oh.
But yeah, they're out there. And like I said, it's quite entertaining.
I'm sure it
Do we
is.
have a QR code?
I will get it to you.
Okay, please send it to us so we can listen for our entertainment pleasure. Okay, next item on the agenda this evening is consideration of grant approval for the high school to apply for a DER grant.
I think we do this every single year. We come to you and ask for permission to do this. The DER grant is a grant given to rural schools. Ironically, if you start looking at the geography, we are about as far south as it goes. So we've had great success in being able to win some of those grants. We are allowed to apply for up to 5. Now, only one of them can be a school level $15,000 grant. The other 4 would have to be a classroom level grant, which usually are around $2,500. With the information you receive, you'll notice the big theme this year is to help acquire materials and resources that will help bring students out of the pandemic issue that was created in learning. And that could be, and again, it's a technology grant, so the focus is on technology. So we are actually wanting your permission. Once we have it, we're going to promote that out through our staff. Every classroom teacher will have the opportunity to create a grant proposal. We'll then decide which ones we feel fit that definition the best, and those will be the ones we submit. And we will be looking to try to find one we feel like at the school level, the 15,000, that we have a really strong chance of getting as well. In the past, we've used it for everything from Chromebooks to particular programs, operating systems, things of that nature.
Any questions or comments? Motion made by Mr. Taylor, second by Ms. Hatterick. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Again, just want to comment on this every board meeting, but we can't say it enough. Thank you all for your hard work and dedication in filling out all these grants and searching for them. I know you seek them out, and that goes to everybody, but thank you so much. It's so
Our
important.
philosophy is the same we have for our seniors, apply for every scholarship that's out there because not enough people do.
Yes, that's absolutely true. So the next item on the agenda is exciting news, I think, for theater program.
Well, I think it's pretty well known that we have been trying desperately to revive our performing arts. Last year we were very successful in putting on a musical that was really thrown together in a small window of time. Once again this year we've kind of found ourselves in a little bit of the same situation. A lot of that because they were trying to seek an independent director for the program and did not have a lot of success initially with that. But they realized that we still have kids that have this interest. We still feel like we can put on a performance. So once again, the only thing they're asking, they have a startup budget which was created from last year's program. All they're asking is to be able to charge a $75 fee to the students that participate, which will cover everything from the t-shirt that they will receive, promoting the program, the food that will be served to them as they're there late practicing, and those types of things. Some of it could go to a little bit of costume cost, but most of that we feel like is going to come out of their existing budget.
And it'll be covered if the student cannot. Okay, thank you.
It's like anything else. If we've got a student that wants to participate,
Right.
has that desire, we're going to find a way.
Right, I know, but we need to know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Say it over and over.
Okay. Well, that is exciting. Do they have a date?
Yes.
I'm going to be very cautious and not give anything away yet.
Okay.
I think they're waiting tonight to see if you approve this so that they can go full steam ahead. They're kind of already starting to organize.
Okay.
And of course, they have tried to pick a program which they will want to announce on their own. But it's a partnership. You've got our choir classes, you've got our art classes developing the sets and the backgrounds.
Okay.
So it's a unified effort of multiple groups.
Yeah, fine, awesome. Yeah.
Which is why they wanted an independent director.
Well, sounds like they're ready to go. So do I hear a motion to grant approval for the HCHS theater program to charge a student fee of up to $75 for each student participating in the spring musical?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Taylor.
Second.
Second by Ms. Brunker. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Great.
Thank
That's
you very
awesome.
much.
I would like to let our audience know, and our grander audience, that, you know, we approve our students to be in these clubs and these organizations, because if you look at the end result, it helps them in their communication, it helps them deal with individuals as they progress through their lifetime. The different club, Skills USA, FBLA, these programs are invaluable to our students. So that's something that people need to realize. It's not all just fun and games. These students learn a lot by participating.
Well, along those same lines, I'd like to thank all of the educators that support these students, because there's a lot of work involved and a lot of time that is outside the classroom. So thank you, everyone, for that. it's just amazing the amount of hours that you all spend outside classroom time, so it's appreciated. Next item on the agenda is, it's normally at the beginning, so we'll get to the board minutes and fundraisers. Any questions or comments? You had all these items for your review before this evening. Any questions? Motion made by Ms. Hadrick and second by Ms. Brunker. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Next item this evening is consideration to grant approval of the February 2023 financial reports, which include board, school activity, and booster accounts, and the paid warrant report. Any questions or comments?
Move to approve.
Motion made by Mr. Taylor.
Second.
Second by Ms. Brunker. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Next item this evening is Ms. Hatter.
May I make a
Sure.
comment? Again, I think that you need to stress, or we need to stress, that we've already looked over all of these financial reports, and that we're just not here mimicking and saying yes, because someone told us.
Yes. I think I said that right before.
Well, you probably did, but.
I did say that before.
Thank you.
But yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Well, yes.
Yes. Didn't need to be reiterated. So, Ms. Hatter.
Good evening. I hope you all are having a good night. I think before you'll have a one-page summary from me that's what the kids at school would say, a one-pager, Miss H. And that is basically a summary of the last 6 to 7 months of mine, Miss Kendall, and the individuals listed in the ELA committee. And I thought you would want to know that, to know we had grade level, subject, and we do have diverse backgrounds in the sense of special needs versus regular ed teachers and so forth. There are on this committee 4 trained reading specialists, K through 12. They specifically have additional skills. I look at Ms. Norcross, Ms. Brunker, and Ms. Hadrick have additional skills in our world in order to evaluate reading materials that agreed to do that just for the kids of Harrison County, which is very nice.
Were those 4, are they part of our school system?
Oh, yes, they're on the committee. Yes, there are people, they don't necessarily serve as a reading coach, but they may have a reading coach.
Right.
They may have the degree path of a reading coach,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you.
And after 6 months of the things listed here, and so I know your audience doesn't see the one-pager, from June to October, we invited the top textbook companies in that service the K through 12 market. Now, not all of them have pre-K to 12 products. Some of them have K through 8. Some of them have pre-K through 8. Some of them have only 9 through 12. We invited the finalists, if you will, of where the committee thought should go. From September to October, each company either presented live and in person or via Zoom, depending on their company policies. And we offered this meeting room as well as they could be in their classroom, so they wouldn't have to travel if they didn't want to for those meetings. And at that point, each committee member was given a KDE rubric as a guide. So we'd have a consistent plumb line, if you will. If you're an old farm kid, you know what a plumb line is. So we'd have a measure of consistency. Once that process was completed, we met on November 8th for final selections, and then again on 12/1 for the final vote, if you will, by the committee. In between the November and the December meeting, we sent out the Google survey that you have linked to every single teacher in the district. Why did we do that? Because you had some teachers go, why did I get this? Why did I get this thing? You know, I don't teach reading, or we all teach reading, but I don't teach this specifically. We did it because we wanted to know how much did they know about what was going on with the committee, and how much had they heard about what were good resources and so forth. So at that point, we narrowed it down to Hope Mifflin Harcourt. And if you're unfamiliar with modern textbook world, textbook companies now are often like AT&T and Verizon. What maybe you had as a kid is a part now of a company that's bigger. The two largest companies in North America are Hope Mifflin in the reading markets and Pearson Education. And my guess is everybody at this table had a textbook, an old style textbook under one of those companies at one point in time. So that's what we narrowed it down to. And the committee selected HMH with lively discussion that frankly, as a 28-year veteran in education and a former American Studies teacher, a former U.S. history teacher, a former administrator at the high school level, it made me feel good about the people that are teaching reading in this district. There were different ideas, different thought processes on how reading is done. If you follow that argument nationally, you have the science of reading versus Lucy Calkins in her work. You have balanced literacy, who says we're both. So just within the deep nerdness of reading, there's a lot of debate, let alone all the other. HMH was selected. I was not expecting, and if Miss Kendall, who's at the ball game, of course, being a mom right now, my partner in crime, if you will, or in books in this case, we were surprised. Our people really took a bucket mentality. They each pulled their bucket, and the elementary, middle, and high all hung together. And even with, and I will brag on, every single school gets a atta-girl, atta-boy in this circumstance. They said to one another, if we're going to go with this one, then that'd be the best for this kind of kid, so let's go for this. But if this school says this is the one that works the best, then we can go with this one. I know that was probably really fun for you to interpret all that. But the bottom line was, they all went together for the kids of Harrison County and said HMH K through 12 is what we believe to be the best program. As your chief academic officer, it's considered a balanced literacy approach program. It is not pure science of reading. It is not the Lucy Calkins work, which of course you may have seen in the news. There's less on phonics and the sort of the mechanics of reading, if you will, phonemic awareness and such. So it is a balanced reading approach, if you will. After a lot of negotiations, I feel like on November 24th, 2007, I delivered Harrison Hatter, and the price quote is a delivery in and of itself. There were a lot of negotiations back and forth. A lot of you have worked with me a long time. That's my favorite part. I think at one point, Dr. Burchett realized what I was like on a whole new level when it comes to money. Because we really did the last, about 3 weeks, we hammered some serious prices back and forth. And I think we could play cards together if we had to, because he and I are of the ilk, like either you're going to deal with us on this bottom line for the kids of this county or we're going to walk. So I got you the best price. We all did that. Could be done with the company that's selected, and it is extremely competitive in its market and that group of grade levels, extremely.
Any questions or comments? Dr. Burchett, do you have anything to say?
I just want to praise our staff, our teachers from across the district working together on this. There wasn't 100% agreement on everything, but the consensus of the group and the best choice and selection for all students of Harrison County K-12 was to go with HMH. And I also want to brag on Ms. Hatter and Ms. Kendall for really working the vendors, kind of like when you want to buy cars, so they work a lot of vendors against each other to get that price really down there. And we know from your report, you see when the last time was that we made this type of purchase. And so it is instrumental in us moving forward with a systems approach that is can be implemented with fidelity across all grade levels and all schools. And our principals are behind it, our instructional folks are behind it, and we're ready to go.
I would like to make a comment. Like I said, it's been 10 years since we bought textbooks. At one time, we would wait and the state would allocate money to purchase textbooks.
The pipe dream.
That hasn't happened for many, many years. So, yes, this is kind of a shock when you look at the price, but it's a necessity. I do think that as a district that we need to start budgeting for textbooks like we do for school buses. We budget to purchase 2 school buses a year. I think as a district we need to look into budgeting so much each year towards textbooks, because apparently the state has not been forthcoming with any more grants for the last 10 years for textbooks. So.
The last middle school, high school was almost 20 years ago. Almost 20 years ago. And also know that it would be unfair to tell you the other quotes, because when we got them down to a certain area and then we worked on them some more, the 5-year quote, none of our original quotes were anywhere in the village of that. Now this was after we told them they were selected, because we could work, we knew they were #1 and we knew we could work in the range that they had given us. But there were some contracts that were reviewed that were well over $1 million for 6 to 8 years. And they were not fully, they were hybrid programs. This is probably, I would want to know this if I were you, and you'd have no reason to unless you were an educator. This is the #1 of the ones that we invited back for next meetings. This is the #1 company that has the most paper. When you looked at that quote in length, you saw digital, about half digital when you're little and half paper. And then that flips to about 75-25 when you get older. There were some companies, and you'll see a lot of school districts, for instance, the October 5th and the October 8th. The October 18th company is all, the company that's listed on the one pager on October 18th that went to visit, is all digital. And it's completely digital. And those are prices in a completely digital range. And that is something to me to think about that, and I know all the ins and outs, but I appreciate that, Mr. Taylor, because I agree with you, of course. Children still need tangible things to look at.
Yeah, that's one of my concerns too, is how much things are shifting to digital.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to keep the books and the paper books and for them for reading as long as possible. I mean, we're on screens so much, I just don't want, like my fear that my kids just grow up being overwhelmed with screens and reading all that. So I love that they have the hybrid, like the
When my son was little, Laura, we were reading Corduroy, the book Corduroy, and he went like this on the page, and I'm like, what's he doing? What's he trying to do? And he goes, trying to turn it, Mommy. And I thought, oh my word, we've read a mix, and he doesn't know how to turn a real life book. So a good technology makes sure we can do both. It really would. I mean,
he's going to really love to see you saying that on
I know, I'm going to hear about it. He's safely tucked away at Boy Scouts right now. With no internet at all.
There's something about holding a book.
Yes, I agree.
We don't want to eliminate that, that's for sure.
And I will shut up any questions you all have about the quote, the one-page process, anything regarding that at all.
I just want to thank you for all your hard work and the committee's hard work, because I know this was not an easy job, and I thank you for your negotiation skills in getting the price out, because I'm quite sure that you were a hard egg to crack. They probably met their match.
I just wanted to say thank you also for all the work you've done, and I'm so appreciative of our team
committee
and
was
the committee
wonderful.
coming to that consensus for our students in the district. And I was looking at the price though, having dealt with textbooks back over 20 years ago, this is very reasonable. I'm just so satisfied with that. That's great. Thank you.
That's great to hear.
And we are still looking, I feel like I must say, for Ms. Fowler and who's our preschool director on there, we have looked at quality, trying to find quality material that goes along with that K through 12 program. And they have something in the works, it's just not out here yet.
Yeah, I was wondering about hers.
And you all see the public review highlights. You know, I have not, as of, I went to shut my office door, you all saw me right before the board meeting. As of now, I have not received any public comments where it links to my email back on the website.
Any other questions or comments?
Move approval.
Motion by Mr. Taylor and second by Ms. Hattery. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much, and thanks again for your hard work.
Thank you all.
Next item, Mrs. Mary Grove. Forget. Consideration to grant approval for Harrison County School District to apply for a local food schools reimbursement grant. So I'll let you speak to that.
So the Food Service Department would like to apply for it's called Local Foods Grant from the Kentucky Department of Agriculture. They're requesting close to $28,000, and this grant will be used to purchase local foods here that we can purchase from Thomas Farms for the meat, or they could go to Stepping Stone and get, you know, the fruits, vegetables, that kind of thing. And this money would go strictly for that. So they'd like permission to apply for that grant.
Any questions or comments?
Just say it's a great partnership we apply for every grant we can, but this allows us to spend that money locally on locally raised and grown food, and it's really good program.
I know they've also used review meats as well, so I mean, anybody local, they can use it.
That's great. If there are no further questions or comments, do I hear a motion for approval?
Move to approve.
Motion made by Ms. Rucker and second by Ms. Norcross. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is consideration of grant approval for all elementary schools in the HCHS to apply for Walmart grants.
Yes, so we have the opportunity to have each of our schools apply for $500 that they can use. I mean, they can put their purpose for what they want to use it for, but the main purpose is for headphones, some have said, PLTW supplies, or any resources that they need at the school level. So they would like permission to apply for the $500.
Okay, great. Again, thanking Walmart for being such a great educational partner. It's amazing the amount of funds that they have.
They've been great to work with.
Yes, they really have. So if there aren't any questions or comments, do I hear a motion for approval?
Move to approve.
Motion made by Ms. Hattery.
Second.
Second by Mr. Taylor. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Scott, no. I'm curious. Noel. No.
I'll answer the
I
vote.
want to call you Noel. I can't help it.
That's fine. I'll answer the vote. So, thank you, Madam Chair and board members. Just wanted to give a quick update on construction process and where we're at. Construction has moved along well. As we've discussed before, they've encountered some bedrock, so we're waiting for the geotech to come in to do some drilling so that we'll finally see what it is that we're dealing with. Along with, we've moved along with the perimeter for the tech center, so we'll be shifting some of the dirt work around from the initial design. So the geotech actually just sent me a text back and said the drilling will happen within the next 2 weeks. He just has to get the driller on site. So he's like everybody else, they are extremely busy right now. So last week, as far as the plans, last week we did meet with a few groups at the high school just to confirm some of the last minute changes as far as programmatic changes. The next big step for us is to start next week on actually meeting with Bo and his team and Richard and his team, and to really start talking more about HVAC, electric technology, and the SRO officer with security. So those meetings will be starting to take place as we finish up, because we are on schedule to have a full design development submittal for you all and for the district to look at your March board meeting. In addition to, we discussed about having an early site utilities package, and those plans will be ready, that package will be ready to go to offer up either as to the current contract holder as a potential change order in increase of scope, or if we feel that the district would have a better economic value, then we will seek a recommendation to advertise that package. So we just want to see which will be the best for the district. And then, of course, I mentioned it last month, those will be attending KSBA. You'll be able to see Harrison County pretty much all over the place up there. So we're really excited to show off what we've done for you all. So.
Any questions or comments? Dr. Bratcher, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
I think Mr. Knowles spoke to it, and I spoke to it in my last email to staff. This process has been went extremely well so far, and I have heard nothing but positive comments from high school staff as far as their participation and engagement with our architecture and design team. So thank you for your continued efforts and your attention to the detail being on site here with our folks.
Yeah. Thank you all.
All right, thank you. Next item on the agenda this evening, Mr. Schweitzer.
Good evening. My first item is I'm asking for your consideration to grant approval of a construction pay application. This is pay application number 5 for phase 1 of the new high school. Pay application is the amount of $58,401.25 to Momentum Construction.
Any questions or comments? Motion made by Mr. Taylor. Second by Ms. Brunker. All in favor say yes? Yes. Thank you. Next item, I cannot believe it's time for mowing services. That's just crazy. It's going by so fast.
Yes, ma'am. My second motion, I'm asking for your approval to renew the hay mowing service contract with Mr. Jared Stevens. In 2022, the hay mowing contract was amended to reflect the opportunity for the successful bidder to renew that contract for up to 2 years. I contacted Mr. Stevens, spoke with him. He has expressed interest in renewing that for the upcoming school year. The offer will remain the same as in 2022. In 2022, Mr. Stevens was the only bidder.
Do I hear a motion to grant approval to renew the hay mowing service contract with Mr. Jared Stevens? Motion made by Ms. Hattery. Second by Ms. Brunker. All in favor say yes?
Yes.
Thank you. We'll move on down to the next mowing.
Yes, ma'am. Motion number 3, consideration to grant approval for mowing and trimming services. These bids for bid package 1 and bid package 2 were opened on January the 14th. Bid package 1 includes east, north, west, and the cemetery at Leesburg. Those bids came in, the low bid came in at $620 per cut for all 4 locations. That bid was made by Mr. Josh Curtis. For bid package 2, which includes everything here on the hilltop, the high school, middle school, south side, the ATC, CEC building, and the athletic complex, those bids came in at $720 per cut for all of those locations, and that bid was also made by Mr. Josh Curtis. There were additional bidders. You can see those bids, or should be able to see those bids. There is an increase from last year's bid to this current low bid of $201 per cut.
I would say probably because of fuel cost. I mean, let's face it. And I don't know how the guy last year survived.
I don't either. Yeah.
I'm sure we didn't come
Yeah.
out ahead. So, any questions or comments?
Move approved.
Motion made to approve Josh Curtis as bid winner for the 2023 district mowing and trimming services. Made by Mr. Taylor. Do I hear a second? Second by Ms. Norcross. All in favor say yes?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. My next motion, I'm asking for your approval for the bid winner for plumbing services. These bids were also opened on February the 14th. We had one person indicate interest or provide us with a valid bid, and that was Donald Edwards.
So Dawn, as you know, has been with us for a long time, so I would, given the fact that he's the only bidder, would recommend Dawn.
Okay, do I hear a motion to grant approval of Donald Edwards as the bid winner for the district plumbing services?
So moved.
Motion made by Ms. Brunker. Second. Second by Ms. Hattery. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Next item on the agenda is consideration for
MOU.
MOU, yes.
Yes, ma'am. I'm asking for your approval for a memorandum of understanding between Harrison Memorial Hospital and the Harrison County Board of Education. This MOU is requested from the hospital in the event that they have to displace their daycare in the event of an emergency or disaster situation.
We've done this for numerous years.
Yes, sir, we have. Excuse me.
I move to approve.
Motion made by Mr. Taylor. Second by Ms. Norcross. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Next item is a consideration for outside groups to use Harrison County Board of Education facilities.
Yes, ma'am. I have one group that has requested to use our facilities, and that is 3M. They would like to, their bingo club, 3M Club Bingo, would like to have bingo on November the 18th, 2023, between 7 and 10, Harrison County High School cafeteria. They have provided us with the correct building use application and certificate of liability insurance.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion to approve 3M Bingo Club to use the facilities?
So moved.
Motion made by Ms. Brunker. Second. Second by Ms. Hattery. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Harris. Good evening.
Good evening. Okay, I am seeking board approval to solicit bids for two projects. One of the projects is to extend the existing fiber network we have here on campus. That would include the field house, the baseball field press box, the softball field press box, and the greenhouse. The greenhouse as well as the field house have been something we've been seeking for some time. We just haven't had the opportunity to do that. Now with USAC, Universal Service Administrative Corporation, managed by the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, they have changed some of their rules. And so this may be a way that we can possibly have this project completed and obviously have them pay for it. So that's why I'm seeking for the first one. The second one is seeking board approval for soliciting bids for wireless network intelligence products. These products would go in each of the 7 buildings. That includes the ATC. They can be moved to other buildings as well or moved around, and they would monitor the existing wireless network, meaning traffic analysis, management, logging, I believe up to 30 to 60 days of information, so that, for instance, if someone were to bring a microwave oven in by chance and it was interfering with the network communications, this would be one of the products that would allow that to be, it would see that and it would track that. And so this would aid in monitoring network. Therefore, I wouldn't have to go from building to building and if something happens, what was it, who did it, what's going on, or take a traffic analyzer and walk the hallways to discover things. So it's also billed as having artificial intelligence, you know, ChatGPT, that kind of thing, I guess. But so that would be good as well. And so it ultimately would help make our networks better and provide better for the students. So both of those are two things that I would like to seek your approval for those bids.
And just to clarify, these bids are, is to go out and get a number on this that he can then submit and file for the grant application through USAC. And keep in mind that program pays 85% of the cost and we only have 15% of the cost. So if we were to get the funding through USAC, then we could move forward with the project if the board so chose.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Motion made by Ms. Hatterick,
Second.
second by Mr. Taylor. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And thank you for explaining it on a level that we all can understand. Next item on the agenda this evening is consideration to grant approval of employee leave of absences. You all have this in your folder and you reviewed this previously. Do I hear a motion for approval? Motion made by Ms. Rucker,
Second.
second by Mr. Taylor. Thank you. Moving right along, Dr. Burgess has his superintendent's report. Oh, I missed one item here before we get to that. Superintendent's report of personnel actions, and that's an information only item. And you have that in the packet. Now we're ready for Dr. Burgess.
We are. Yes. So, board members and audience, over the last several months, of course, we've heard presentations from our schools about the amazing work that are going on there to help our students to analyze their student performance and review, analyze, and adapt plans to best meet their needs and help students succeed to their full potential. Tonight I want to discuss a few other district-wide initiatives and just make sure the board's aware of those initiatives and where we stand with those. Of course, the most visible of these initiatives, and you know, I don't want to place one as important over another, but this is one of the most important initiatives that we have going on because of what this transformation to our educational system here on the Hilltop does for all of our programs. We know that it will reduce our overall cost of operations, management, and so forth. It will make the education of all students more equitable and efficient across the district, safer, more secure, all those factors we've discussed in the past. So it also gives us the ability to align all of our programs, and it creates a lot of flexibility in the community with the new high school project. We recently met with representatives, Mr. Knoll, myself, others met with representatives from the Kentucky Department of Transportation to discuss road improvements, timelines for construction, and the impact on our overall project. As a result, after having that meeting and working on an MOA with the city and the state on that, we will be bringing back to you in either the next meeting or a future meeting a revised timeline for the overall project. We've got a lot to discuss, a lot of moving parts, a lot of things that have to be carefully coordinated because we're bringing together resources and funding from multiple sources and locations. Next slide, Richard. We've had a rendering of the school for some time. As Mr. Knoll mentioned, we will be the highlight of their presentation at KSBA and all the other school districts around. We'll get to see all the great work that's going on in Harrison County. The design is coming along very well, as he's mentioned. I want to point out every teacher, program director, staff member at the high school, they've had numerous opportunities to provide input, make requests of the design team. I can't tell you I'm sure you know the number of hours that you've spent in the library meeting with our staff. It's extensive. We had previously shared our review of the exterior renderings with the board. Interior designs are coming along, and we're going to have some stuff to share with you very soon and share with the public very soon on interior design. But there's much more work to do with that, and we'll be seeking the board's guidance and approval in the future on interior designs. Next slide, Mr. Harris. Again, the exterior. Phase 1 of the project consisted of an earthwork and drainage package. We are awaiting additional core drilling results, as Mr. Knoll already told us, to ensure that we are able to make informed decisions about future work, making sure that we're not setting on 2 different types of soils when we construct and those things. We anticipate recommending a site utilities package in the very near future. That could include water, wastewater, gas, and electric services onto the site from public utilities to just outside of where the building pad would sit, so then that the building could be connected up properly when we get to that phase. Next site. This next picture is actually a picture off of they have a real engine that you can actually go on to our campus and actually from a 3D perspective, walk yourself or move yourself all across the campus here on the hilltop. And this shows the new rendering of the school setting on the campus out there. I want to remind the board, the board gave permission for us to advertise for construction management services. Late last fall, October, November, we've actually put that bid out. We have received that deadline is passed. We have received 2 proposals responsive to the advertisement. And it's my recommendation to the board that after we come back from KSBA, you will likely see these vendors there at KSBA. You can visit with them and talk with them and communicate. Then after we come back from KSBA, first week, second week, sometime in early March, schedule a working session to allow those 2 vendors to come in and present their qualifications and their criteria and their plan for what they can provide for the citizens and the community, the board up here in Harrison County. Next item, or next slide. You know, we've had before us the floor plans for some time. I do just want to point out that this floor plan has been reviewed by state officials, code enforcement officials, and they really, really like it. It is state-of-the-art. The design of this facility will offer the state-of-the-art safety measures. And one thing that the ability to secure the building and the interior spaces, those wings within the building. So we'll have multiple layers of security in that building, really at the touch of a button on the principal's phone, on a hard contact button in the office, those kind of ways. So there's multiple ways that can be done. That's the first floor. The next slide is, of course, of the second floor, and you can go right on. Mr. Harris, we've seen this. As I mentioned, we are working with the City of Cynthiana and the Department of Transportation to establish the guiding documents for new road construction. A big concern by the public is how are you going to handle all that traffic? You know, as you know, we did a traffic study. We have secured millions, well over $10 million in state funding to help with this road construction and design to manage the traffic here on the hilltop. And we've met with folks. Matter of fact, the last time I was in Frankfurt, I ran into new Judge Executive Jason Marshall and the magistrates who were there advocating on behalf of Harrison County, and they too met with Senator Steve West when they discussed our project as a part of the overall global view for Harrison County as well. Next slide. This is something that some of you may have seen, some of you may have not. It actually shows how the Area Technology Center could sit right in behind the existing, the new location for the new school. It is, we've got some design work on that, and it really focuses the attention on the relationship of the building to the ATC to the existing building, and really takes into account plans for pedestrian, bus, and vehicle transportation as it is completed. So we're going to continue to secure the work for that ATC and some additional special funding towards that. Next slide. One benefit of the natural lay of the land, and this is a lot of people's favorite piece to this project, but one benefit of the natural lay of the land is that we can take advantage of the need to manage water runoff through the utilization of a retention pond, which also adds to the aesthetics of the community there on the hilltop, but also meets a growing need for our bass fishing clubs and teams. Bass fishing is a big thing. There's scholarships out there. If you don't know it, just like our esports we talked about a few years ago, there's scholarships for students who are great bass fishermen, and they can go to college on a bass fishing scholarship. So it kind of meets its dual purpose. It takes care of water runoff and provides a really nice added feature to the community. Next slide. This isn't a new slide. This is kind of an old slide, but it really highlights back. Okay, what are we doing with all this? We are building a building. We're really moving the educational process on the hilltop. But what's it do for us? And when we unite all of our educational facilities on the hilltop, there's academic and financial rewards. It allows for more micro-credentialing, career pathway options expanded. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. Partnerships with local businesses and industry are further developed. We're working right now with the mayor on the work-ready community status here in Harrison County. It's got to be renewed, and Ms. Hatter is our representative on that committee. Funding and investment spent on state-of-the-arts needs rather than building maintenance. K-12 learning opportunities expanded, and true career building among multiple pathways can be obtained. There's a real focus now to get these pathways on down to the middle school age. Let students get exposure at the middle school level to what that will look like in high school. And so we're really trying to expand those opportunities. All students receive equal opportunities to access programs and staff talents. No longer is it divided out amongst elementary schools. Students are able to peer tutor and teach and collaborate. This is a big piece to the Educator Rising. If our students at the junior and senior level who are in those programs can have a class where they actually are in the elementary school or in the middle school working with younger students in certain areas, there are internships, co-ops, even paid internships that can come of that can help them towards their future pathways. Align global curriculum vision for student learning that respects teacher leadership and work for common student success. You've heard about that. You've heard about that in the textbook adoption. This district, this community, our school community, from our teachers to the community, we are aligning our vision and our mission towards a common goal, and that's that life-ready student at the end. There's a lot of work going on in these areas. So, next slide, Mr. Harris. This kind of highlights all the stuff going on at the high school, and I'm really, really proud of this. There's a lot of work that's went into this, these programs and pathways, and we had a lot of these, but we didn't do a great job telling our story about it and selling it and showcasing and highlighting the value of this to students and to the community. So Harrison County students have the benefit of amazing educational opportunities. They begin with the most important piece, a highly qualified, passionate educator who strives daily to help students succeed to their fullest potential. Our instructors at the high school level, they work in one or more programs supporting students in over 20 different pathways. Over 20 different pathways right here on the hilltop. Our partnership with the ATC, Maysville Community and Technical College, and numerous other colleges and universities make Harrison County really one of the front runners on articulated opportunities for high school students. Dual pathways, dual credit in programs where students can go directly on into a post-secondary institution and continue their learning. Next slide. You all know that even during the pandemic, we still, this board, I want to praise the board for the work that was still done, and we continue to move the ball right on down the road. We continue to get the work done. In addition to the facilities improvements the board's made over the last few years during the global pandemic, we've also been pursuing improvements in technology access, instructional devices. Remember, we had about 800 instructional devices. We've got 3,000 now. Instructional delivery systems such as interactive touchscreens. Ms. Norcross got to see those interactive touchscreens in use when we toured the schools a couple of weeks ago. As you heard tonight during the presentation on our K-12 textbook adoption, our district-wide processes for analysis, evaluation, collaboration, and instructional design are being reflected in all areas of teaching and learning. There is so much work going on, led by our principals, who mostly are here, with experts from the classroom. We're building on that classroom expertise and valuing each one of those pieces to come up with a collaborative district-wide plan. We've got teams working on deeper learning. Ms. Miles is a part of that lead. Blended learning, co-teaching. There's just so much going on at this current time right now, and so much work to be done. Next slide. As we continue to build a community-based education system, I like to reference it as one block, one brick, one stone. That's the construction site we're doing right now, but one student at a time. That is going on right now, and so I highlight this because
That looks so much better pretty soon.
We're going to, we're actually going to schedule and host really just a welcoming day to the community. I know that a lot of the Old Cynthia High School folks are really excited about the work that's been done over at Ingalls and Lawson Field, and so we really want to have a celebration day this spring to do that. And we see what the weather's going to do. A little warmer day, we'll schedule a day for that. But one student at a time, and we have to always keep in mind that we have a responsibility to educate the whole child. We heard about a drama program, second year in a row for a drama program, and I think when I came, we hadn't had one in a few years, several years. We now have elementary drama club that's going every Wednesday, I believe. And we've got elementary across the country. There's so many programs. You hear about the success of our basketball teams and wrestling, girls wrestling. Archery is #1 in the state and maybe #1 in the nation. So there's just so much with the co-curricular and extracurricular opportunities for our students. We have to continue to expand that whole child education. And one piece that we've kind of been missing a little bit, it happens in our programs, in our co-curricular and extracurricular programs, but it doesn't happen system-wide for all students, which is character education, leadership growth, and development opportunities for all students. I spoke with some of you a little bit about this, and we're going to be coming back to you in the next meeting with a grant opportunity for Leader in Me. We have the opportunity to secure some outside sourced funding to help support that program and implement that across our district. And we really believe it's another way that can focus on the whole child, for every child, and align all of our systems as we move towards this transformation of education in Harrison County. Next slide. To ensure these opportunities for our students and the community, my team will continue to fight to secure every nickel of support that we can muster out of our friends in Frankfort. I mentioned nickel because we made our own nickel investment in Harrison County. The citizens stepped up and did that. The board adopted a bold facilities plan. Thank you for what you did when we enacted our most recent facilities plan. And we are well on our way to achieving those goals, the goals of that plan. I want to close with this. This plan is much more than a facilities plan. It is, in essence, the foundation of our education transformation plan. How we are now going to transform the opportunities for all students in an equitable, efficient, and effective manner across the hilltop. It really focused on student outcomes for success. We want to ensure every student has the opportunity for that success that many of our students do experience that are participating in a lot of our programs, our FFA, Culinary Arts, FBLA, FCLA. You see them here tonight. We want all students to experience that same opportunity. With that, are there any questions at this time? That's an update, kind of overall update of where we are today through the eyes of facilities, but including more of our holistic approach to our student education.
Anybody have any comments? Any comments or questions?
Sounds wonderful.
Well, we've got a great team, and I can't say it enough, can't brag enough on the team. I want to brag on the board for your efforts, what you do, but I want to brag on our team because they are out there fighting and leading every day, and the challenges are tough. We know the challenges are tough. We know that there's a critical shortage for teachers in education. We know that it is hard work every day, but we've got a team that works together to achieve a common goal.
I just hope our community realizes that the students aren't a number. The educators are trying to reach each and every individual student for the same success. And that's what it's all about. It's for everybody to be successful. And I think with your leadership, that's the focus, and it's coming. We're moving along.
The future is very bright.
Yes.
One thing that was not mentioned, I hope Ms. Hatter would have mentioned it when she was up here. We got the reading series. We appreciate your support to buy our reading textbook, K-12 series. But they also worked, Andrea Pope worked to write a math grant for each
Oh, that's
elementary
good.
school. There's a lot of people involved in that, but she was really the catalyst behind, the author behind, catalyst behind that. And we received those 4 math grants totaling $160,000. So for the community of Harrison County for our students. So, we've got a lot of work to implement the new reading series. We've also going to have a lot of work to implement a new math initiative as well at the same time. So.
It's like being able to test drive a Rolls Royce. I mean, it truly is. You're able to test drive illustrative math, and if we like it, great, then we can pursue more of it, but we get the car for free for a year, and we get all the training for free, which is a biggie now in today's world. So excited, and that is her hard work on that.
Maybe at the next meeting, you can give us an update on the amount of money that.
Total grant money?
Total grant money, because it is amazing. It is unbelievable, and I want the community to understand how hard you all work to obtain those grants. Because as we know, it's not gonna fall from the sky. So every penny helps. So thank you so much for that update.
Thank you.
Okay, we have, I almost skipped 28, don't want to do that. Next item on the agenda this evening is consideration of grant approval to reappoint current superintendent Dr. Harry Burchett for a new 4-year period beginning July the 1st, 2023 and concluding June 30th, 2027, and to also authorize the board chair to execute a contract reflecting the new employment term based on current salary and benefits in the existing contract. Are there any questions or comments?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Taylor and second by Ms. Hadrick. All in favor, say yes.
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 I just would like to make a note about this. This contract does not change anything. We were not permitted, just because there was a board election last fall, to offer him an extension of his 4-year contract last July. So we had to wait until January of this year to do that. And we didn't do it at the January meeting because Ms. Springer had an excused absence and Ms. Norcross with the board situation. So we wanted everybody to be here. So that's why we waited on that. So, and Dr. Burchett, thank you for your commitment to Harrison County and to the students of Harrison County. We appreciate everything you do.
Thank you. I am blessed to be here, and I would not want to be anywhere else or with any other team. This is a fantastic, fabulous team.
Thank you. We do have 2 miscellaneous items this evening. First one is consideration to grant approval to apply for a Donors Choose grant. Ms. Grubb.
I'm back. So speaking of grants, Mary Heimlich would like to apply for a grant for our 4 elementary schools to help fund our PLTW consumables. She's instrumental in a lot of the projects that we do with all elementary schools, and she's wanting to replace some of the older items that we have with some new ones. And Donors Choose is a program that you can apply for, and you kind of submit what you want. They go out and get it for you and send it to you. So there's no money, we don't have to buy anything, we're just asking them, we give them a proposal of what we want, and then they fill it. So we don't have to, get it and get refunded and
That sounds like a deal.
Yeah, it's great. It's like, here's our shopping list, and they take it. So, but she would like approval to pursue that.
Okay, do I hear a motion for approval?
Don't move.
Motion made by Ms. Brunker,
Second.
second by Mr. Taylor. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Schweitzer.
Yes, ma'am. I'm asking for your permission to declare as surplus a tarp for the baseball infield and to advertise that tarp for sale.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to grant approval to declare a baseball field tarp as surplus and to advertise for bids for the purchase of a new tarp? So moved. Motion made by Ms. Hadrick.
No, to advertise it for sale.
Oh,
For
well,
sale.
Oh, it says purchase. So, all right,
Advertising for sale.
sorry,
Yes.
I just was reading what I had.
That's the reason I didn't jump in second.
No, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. So, do I hear a motion? Ms. Tyler? And do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Taylor.
Thank
All in
you.
favor, say yes.
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 Thank
You have to do what again?
Sell the car.
Sell the tarp and advertise for the
I
sale.
understand.
That was my mistake. I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. Public comment. Do I hear a motion for adjournment?
Use your,
Motion made by Mr. Taylor. Second. Second by Ms. Blunker. All in favor say yes.
yes.
And thank you all for attending and have a good evening. If you're going home.